Hi book lovers, my name is Christina and welcome back to Cozy Novel Niche. Today I'm here with again a review. This one will be quite short because I cannot tell you pretty much anything about this book without spoiling it completely, so we will see how it will go. The book is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. So let's start from the very beginning. Susanna Clarke is a writer about who I was aware for quite a long time, and I own her other two books, but I've never read them, not yet. I will for sure in the future, however. And this is the first approach that I have with this author. This book has been all around BookTube, BookTok, everywhere for quite a long time, and rightfully so. Here on my edition of the book, I have written that it's Women's Prize for Fiction 2021. And this is not a long book. This is probably like 250 pages long. And it is, and here the problem starts. Is it a fantasy? Is it magical realism? Maybe a mixture of both is more correct. Or is it maybe a philosophical essay? It could be a little bit. So it's just a mixture of genres. I mean, for sure it's not a contemporary book, yeah, that's clear, but there are some elements that make you think about a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of magical realism, a little bit of a lot of different things. So this book is very short, but it's full-packed. And even if it's short, it is slow-paced, which is interesting in itself. And what can I tell you about this book? This is the story of Piranesi. Piranesi is our main protagonist, and he's the one talking about what is happening in this book. It is written in the first person, so it's a first-person narrator. Our main protagonist supposedly has 34, 37 years old, something like that, in his 30s anyhow, or so he imagines. He is male and he is called Piranesi. He doesn't know what's his name, but he is called Piranesi, so that's important to remember. And we follow him as he's writing his annotations in his journal. So what we're reading are literally annotations from his journal. And he describes the place where he lives. And he lives in the house. The house is this house which is gigantic and ginormous. It has halls and rooms with clouds and tides and seas. So it is a ginormic place, literally. And the halls are beautiful, full packed of marble statues. They are mesmerizing, some are creepy, some are just divinely beautiful, describing different animals and people and gods. So he just travels throughout the house, recording what happens, who he meets. There are some birds and fishes, and there is someone else in this huge house together with him, and he calls this someone else the other. The other is another human presence who is a human male, probably in his 50s, 60s, something like that. And they interact sometimes, they exchange ideas, and they're quite different one from the other. For starters, Piranesi is someone who loves documenting what is happening throughout his days, and he loves traveling and discovering new halls in the house. So he's trying to travel as far as he can get and just know the house, because the house is the world. While the other doesn't like to travel, but he's trying to pursue this like research and just this desire to get to the knowledge, the supreme knowledge in this world that will help him crack the world and just understand everything better and to its full potential. So they're two very different people, but they are co-inhabiting in this world and just trying to pretty much live their life. And you may think, how does this constitute the plot for a story? Well, this is where Susanna Clarke is kinda a genius author, because she starts from it. And maybe for the first 60 pages, it was very slow paced, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go on with the story because I was a little bit lost. But there is purpose in it. The feeling of being lost is very, very purposeful in this case. And then from page 60, everything skyrockets like that. And the story evolves and changes, and you start getting these crumbs of information, and then you start understanding the bigger plot around what I said you at the beginning. And I mean, mind blown. And it's not to tell that what she reveals at the end is like mesmerizing and you would just don't get it till the very end. No, you understand what's happening. You start understanding. You understand it far sooner than the protagonist of this story, of course. But still, it's just interesting to reread some bits. To own a physical copy of this book was definitely a plus for me, because I just went on while reading, then I went back to some pages and I reread them to understand what I missed probably. And it's just a clever way to, just a clever thing to do with your book. If you make me want to go back and revisit something, I think that you've written and done your job very, very correctly. And the only thing that I have to say that wasn't something that made me consider this book full 5 stars for the whole of my life is the very ending. I just really wanted it to be a little bit longer. I think that other 50 pages for this book were just the perfect size, because some things at the end left me, I don't know, just with a feel of unconcluded events maybe, or something that was accomplished but a little bit too rushed maybe. And I cannot say, of course, what or when or how, because that will spoil for you the experience. But what I can tell you is that if you're feeling like in the mood for something that is slow paced but still full packed of things to discover, and you're feeling a little bit philosophical, you are feeling maybe a little bit moody, it's a perfect read for like maybe a stormy night, or just a weekend where you're chilling and just want to do nothing pretty much. This could be a great idea. I mean, 250 pages, you may rush through it. It's even written in quite a big font. I mean, it's not very small. I have a couple of annotations here that I've done to sentences that I really enjoyed in this book. And this one is a book that I started because of an in real life book club that I'm part of, and it was a great pick. I have to admit, it was really a great pick, because maybe I would have waited for God knows how many years more to get to this book, but I was forced to start it, and this really made me want to get to the other books by the author, especially Jonathan Norrell and Mr. Strange, or Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, I don't remember, oh my god, but that one, because it's a brick of a book, and I think that the longer format would be definitely something that I will enjoy with this writer, because I know that she could be very lyrical with her language, and I definitely want to know more and just discover that other world from her eyes. So this is definitely a strange book, because it's pretty impossible to talk about it without spoiling it. But when you spoil it to someone and say the concept of the book, it doesn't seem that much, because the biggest, like the biggest aspect of this book, and the thing that makes it very unique and that just gives you this whole experience, is actually the act of reading it, being immersed in this story. So just having the plot summarized doesn't make a lot for this book. You just really have to savor it and sit with it and experience it a little bit. So yeah, these are my thoughts on Piranesi, and now I can put it safely away and just wait for the next time that I will re-meet this author on my TBR. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down below if you've read it and what are your thoughts, if you can avoid spoilers or just saying that it's a comment with spoilers. And let me know, or if you're curious to read it, again, let me know down below, and I will see you very, very soon in my next video. Bye! Ciao!